All right. Okay, I'm hoping that everybody can find that new link. I'm sorry that that took so long. We couldn't get the webinar started. Anyway, we are just about ready. Donna, I saw your question. Can you hear me now? She said, I can't hear anything. All right. Hang tight just one second. Okay, we are going to get started. Also, can you guys see my screen okay? Donna says she can hear me now. Can you see my screen too? Awesome. Okay, so we are going to talk about vetiver today. And I love vetiver, and after leadership retreat, I started to love vetiver even more. We learned a lot about it and where it comes from, and I didn't know that before. So vetiver, vetiver comes from, doTERRA gets their vetiver from Haiti. And this is a picture of vetiver. It's this plant that it's a grass, and it has long grass on it, and it can grow like 6 feet high. And then the roots underneath the grass, they're really spindly, and they have like a really intense aroma about them. And so they take the roots out, and then from the roots is where they distill the vetiver. They steam distill it from the roots. And a lot of people have said that vetiver, they're like, oh, that's the oil that smells like dirt. And it makes sense because it's roots, right? So it really is just from the dirt. Anyway, it's an amazing oil, and one that I've grown to love, especially as a sleep aid and to help calm and relax. And so it was really fun to be able to prepare and learn more about this oil as I was, preparing this little webinar. So traditional uses for vetiver, this is just really known as a calming property. This is something that people turn to if they have anxiety or ADD, trouble with focusing. It really helps to calm and improve that focus. I mentioned it as a sleep aid. I use it every night when I sleep, and I use it with lavender, and I have a little recipe later on in the presentation to share with you guys. Also, because it smells so good, it's oftentimes the base note in a perfume, and people will wear just the vetiver as a perfume. And then there's, on doTERRA's blog, there's fun recipes of how you can use vetiver to become as a way to make your own little custom perfume. Other things about vetiver, just the stuff you can read in the Modern Essentials book, is all the good things about it: antibacterial, antidepressant, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antiparasitic, and antiseptic. And so we'll talk more about why those are important. I have to kind of guess. I didn't put my PowerPoint in presenter mode, so I'm like, okay, wait, which slide's coming next? Anyway, okay, one thing I get asked all the time with vetiver, and I'm sure we've all run into this issue, is, okay, how do I use it? You open up your vetiver and you try to like pour it out, and it's just so thick, nothing comes out. So you can use a toothpick if you want to dip it in there, but I just got a dropper from Aroma Tools, and I take out the white part of the oil bottle that it comes with, the little dispenser thing. I don't know the correct name. Jen does. We'll ask her. But then I just put that little dropper in there, and you can order it from Aroma Tools that fits the 15 ml bottles. And so that's what my vetiver looks like. And I know that's kind of a common thing to do with vetiver and frankincense and myrrh, the oils that are a little bit thicker and have a hard time coming out. Then this is a great way to an orifice reducer. That's what they're called. You can use this in place of where your orifice reducer is. A great thing about vetiver is all the sesquiterpenes that are in it. It has a really high level of sesquiterpenes, and what that does is it allows oxygen molecules to be delivered to the cells. And what's really cool is this can pass our blood-brain barrier, and so we can just have it can provide a lot of clarity of mind because we're getting so much oxygen into our brains. Another awesome thing about vetiver is it stimulates our white blood cells and our red blood cells. And so we're going to increase the oxygen there. And if we can, have our white blood cells stimulated, then we have enhanced immunity. And so we can fight infection. And these cells, they're what are going to just really literally gobble up any type of pathogens that are in our system. And then with the red blood cells, if we're stimulating those and we have an increase of oxygen throughout our body, then that improves our circulation. And highly oxygenated environments, they encourage happy cell reproduction, which is what we all want. One thing about vetiver, I always like to share. There's this book. Now I have to find where my little book went. That talks about, some of the emotional benefits of vetiver. And when I read about this one about vetiver, I thought, even from smelling vetiver, I can really understand what they're talking about. Now, initially, vetiver may smell like dirt, right? That's what people talk about. And in fact, I heard Lil Shepherd share a story about her. I think it was her sister's grandson who they used the oils, and he was spending the night at his grandma's house. And she had put vetiver on the bottom of his feet, and they had just kind of nicknamed this oil the dirt oil. And so she put it on the bottom of his feet, and he slept so good. Well, then the next week he was at his other grandma's house, and she knew about the oils, but she didn't know what, I think she didn't use them as frequently or something. But he woke up, her little grandson woke up in the middle of the night and said, "Oh, Grandma, I need you to put dirt on my feet. I need dirt on my feet." And finally, this grandma called the other grandma and said, "What is dirt? What is dirt? This little boy is asking me for dirt." Anyway, so she explained that it was vetiver. So initially it smells like dirt, but the more I use it, I just love it. I've really grown to love the aroma of it. And it's a very soothing, calming aroma. And they call this oil the oil of centering and descent. And I'm just going to read here in this book the emotional benefits of the essential oils, so you guys can just kind of have an understanding of this side. So it says that vetiver oil assists in becoming more rooted in life. Life can scatter one's energy and cause one to feel split between different priorities, people, and activities. Vetiver brings the individual back down to earth. It assists them in grounding to the physical world. Vetiver also assists individuals in deeply connecting with what they think and feel. In this way, vetiver is incredibly supportive in all kinds of self-awareness work. It helps uncover the root of an emotional issue. And Dr. Sue Lawton said that, because of this amazing side of vetiver, it's really helpful for people struggling with anorexia. Continual use and application of vetiver can help with that. And then also any type of addiction, people trying to overcome addiction, vetiver is a great oil to turn to. Now, I have lots of fun uses, and I like to always come up with, they're not my recipes, but gather different recipes to share with you guys so that we can learn how to really utilize this oil more. I know for a while this one sat on my shelf, and I kind of would smell it occasionally and see if I could get a drop out of it, but I didn't really know how to use it. So here are some fun ways that we can start using vetiver. It's great for cuts and scrapes. And so this is one that you could just apply after you've diluted it right to the cut or scrape, and then using lavender and or melaleuca to, help fight any type of infection, and then also to really soothe the area. Vetiver is an antiseptic, and so it's really great for balancing out oil production. And so we can use it for acne, and you can just apply it to the blemish or to, acne prone skin. For dandruff, mixing vetiver, right here it says 2 drops of vetiver with 2 drops of lavender and melaleuca, and then 6 drops of fractionated coconut oil. That's what that FCO is on there. And you can just massage it into the scalp before bed and do that, as needed. Stretch marks. Isn't this exciting to have oils to use for this? While you're pregnant or after, it just really helps your skin. And you use 3 drops of vetiver, 8 drops of lavender, 3 drops of grapefruit, and then mix that in with an ounce of coconut butter, a half an ounce of fractionated coconut oil, and a half an ounce of rose hip seed oil. Okay. I mentioned earlier in the beginning vetiver being great for ADD and ADHD, and this is really this is really what comes to mind first when I think about Vetiver, how great it is for helping with our focus. And this is one that, a lot of children have really benefited and seen an increase of focus by using Vetiver. Recommendation here, and there's lots of different recommendations out there. So here's just one, is to diffuse it in the air, applying it to the feet, really focusing on the big toe, or just dropping it on your pillow at night or on your shirt collar so you can breathe it in all day. These go a little bit more specific, like if we're talking about maybe what's the issue, like when we're feeling distracted, is it because we are overthinking or we're preoccupied with details, or where's the distraction coming from? So you can kind of maybe cater a blend to what your specific need is. But for obsessive overthinking and trying to relieve that, you can do 2 drops of vetiver, 4 drops sandalwood, and apply to the back of the neck or behind the ears. To help with preoccupation with detail, you would do 3 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of vetiver, and 1 drop of lemon. And I always like to, when I'm making up recipes, I like to just put them in an empty roller bottle so I can just have easy access. So every time when I'm going to use it, I don't have to be counting out all the individual drops. And I find that helps me actually use the blends instead of just having a list of recipes and then, not using them because it's going to take extra effort to go count out the drops in my hand right then. So that's just a little tip. Another one, relieve absent-mindedness and improve clarity. This is something that I think all of us could benefit from. At least I know for me, I would love this, and improve clarity. Who doesn't want that? I need some right now. So we use 4 drops of vetiver, 3 drops of peppermint, and 3 drops of frankincense. I love doing peppermint and frankincense. I do that most days in the afternoon with some wild orange or some type of citrus oil. And I'm really excited to start adding the vetiver in it because I know how much better I feel when I am using vetiver. And it really does help improve clarity. That's why I like to use it at nighttime, so it clears my mind and I can go to sleep. It helps me shut my brain off. And then just rubbing it on the back of your neck 2 to 5 times per day. This really is as needed. If you're feeling like you need improved clarity, you can just apply this again. I feel on almost instant benefit when I'm using that peppermint and frankincense, and I'm really excited to add that vetiver to the mix. Anxiety, again, vetiver is just so calming and soothing that it's perfect for this. And a great oil to mix it with is myrrh. And so just a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 drop of each, and apply behind the knees is what I read after a shower in the morning. I don't know the reason for that. If someone knows a reason of what the benefit is behind the knees, I would love to hear that. One benefit that I could see of that too is if someone has, because it has such a distinct aroma, if you're still getting used to the aroma of it, or maybe you want to not have the aroma be so present, if you're in a room or whatever, the back of the knees is kind of a place to disguise the aroma a little bit. And then we had mentioned anorexia earlier when I referenced Dr. Sue Lawton and the emotional benefits of vetiver. And right along with this, any type of traumatic experience, trauma or shock that we may be experiencing or reflecting on, the vetiver is great for that. And just massaging it over your heart or solar plexus is a great way to use the vetiver for that. Attention buster. I love the oils that are in here. It seems like such an interesting mix. 3 drops of vetiver, 1 drop of patchouli, 2 drops of wild orange, and 2 drops ylang ylang to ease tension. Stress reducing bath. Again, I'm going to talk slow on this one so everyone can write this recipe down. It just sounds so wonderful. But we've got a drop of vetiver, a drop of white fir, a drop of geranium, 2 drops of cypress, which I love cypress. It's really great to let go of control and the need to control. So hand in hand with vetiver, that helps us be calm and clear our minds. They just work so well together. And 2 drops of lavender. And you can do that in a 1/2 cup of Epsom salt in your bath. When I was reading those, I'm like, I'm going to put those in a roller bottle for me anyway and have like a stress reducing roller bottle that I can carry around with me. I think that just sounds lovely and something that, high moments of stress for myself or for my kids or, whatever. It just seems like a really wonderful blend to have. Night terrors, anyone with little kids, this is such a helpless experience when your little kiddos wake up with a night terror and you can't really do anything for them. A great blend for that. And I love using oils, you know, in the middle of the night to help my kids. I feel so empowered being able to help them, you know, at least in some way by applying the oils. And I know it's soothing to their system. Whereas before the oils, I'd be so helpless. But a specific blend for that, if this is something that, you know, you're struggling with, is 2 drops of vetiver and geranium. And then if you have some rose oil, add a drop of rose. Then below this we have, it's called Sweet Sleep is the name of this little blend, but a drop of vetiver and coriander, 2 drops of ylang ylang and wild orange, and 6 drops of sandalwood, and you add that to fractionated coconut oil. And this you would apply, you know, the back of your neck or on your chest or on your pillow, just somewhere where you can breathe it in. And I always like to put oils on the bottom of my feet too when I'm going to sleep, so you can hit, you know, some different, you know, different points on your foot. Okay, this is what I really use every night, and I always am giving this to people as samples in a little roller bottle. Liquid Ambien is what people call it. I don't even know if we're allowed to call it that, but but someone made this and it's so cute. So you do 20 drops of lavender to 7 drops of vetiver. I will tell you, I've started switching this up, and I do more of an equal amount of lavender and vetiver because when I use just lavender to go to sleep, I love that and it's great, but the vetiver helps me fall into a deep, calm, relaxing sleep, and I don't have to fight falling asleep, and my mind is clear, and so I like having more vetiver in there. So I do more equal drops, and then I do top off my roller bottle with the coconut oil just so it'll roll out really easily. But Liquid Ambient, this is one that I love to, I roll it behind my kids' ears before they go to sleep, and they love it. And I gave it to a neighbor the other day. She wasn't sleeping well, and some of her kids, they were just starting to get over a sickness, and they were trying to get back into the routine of sleep. And she walked in, and her little 8-year-old daughter said, "Can we ask Jess for some more of this oil?" And the bottle was gone. And so my friend said, "How did you apply that?" And the girl had said, "Oh, I just love it so much." And she had rolled it all the way up and down her neck like 10 times. I'm like, whoa, she's going to be in a deep sleep tonight. Anyway, it's one that kids love. And it's a very pleasant aroma when it's mixed with that lavender. And just thinking about it makes me feel all relaxed. I need to go smell it now. Okay, I was really excited to find this blend. For TMJ or any type of jaw tension. This is also, you know, people that grind your teeth and clench your jaw while you sleep. This can be something that may offer you relief. 2 drops of vetiver and balance, and then 3 drops of white fir and 4 drops of helichrysum with some coconut oil. And you can just massage that along your jaw muscle and also just put it on the back of your neck before you're going to sleep, or if you have tension in your jaw all day long, it's a great blend to use to massage into the tense jaw muscles. There's 2 recipes here, or little blends. They're both for after surgery. So I know it seems a little repetitive, but the first one was specified for joint and muscle pain. And then the second one is for after like a replacement surgery, like a hip replacement or like something with your bones. And specifically with the second one, the one you're seeing right now, you know, if you're on some type of pain medication after the surgery, which makes sense, this is supposed to help kind of like stretch that out, stretch the effectiveness of that out, according to Dr. Sue Lawton. So I'll just read you what these are, and so you can kind of see what some options are that people have come up with. But for joint or muscle pain after surgery, 4 drops of vetiver, 3 drops of lavender, 2 drops of bergamot. And these are to be taken internally. You're going to put all of that in a capsule and take internally. And that's the same thing with this second blend. You're going to be taking these internally as well. And Dr. Sue was talking a lot about the power of just taking vetiver, even just alone after surgeries, you know, involving your bones, and how it really helps with pain relief. 4 drops of vetiver, 3 drops of lavender, 2 drops of helichrysum, and 2 drops of white fir. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, so if anybody has any questions, that was my last slide. I really do love vetiver. I think that it's something that I know that I didn't use enough, and now I'm using it all the time and turning to it a lot more because I realize how soothing and calming of an oil it is. And I would definitely recommend everyone trying that cute little recipe for the liquid Ambien tonight. That's something that's easy to make up, and lavender is a pretty standard oil that most of us have, I would think. So mix those together and try that tonight. Does anybody have any questions before I sign off? Oh, okay, I don't think anybody has any questions. I think I answered whatever's over here. So, oh, yes, for little kids, is it safe? Yep, this is a very, thanks for asking that, Allie. This is a very like mild oil, even using it undiluted. I mean, of course, check the sensitivity of skin. We always want to be cautious, but the vetiver is a very, mild oil, and it's something that is great, specifically for children, for ADD, for focus, with little kids. There's a lot of benefit that comes from that, and so it's totally great for little kids. Good question. Whenever I use vetiver, I use it neat all the time because it is just it's not a hot oil. It's very mild. All right. Any other questions? All right. Okay. Thanks for listening in. And I'm sorry about the delay this morning. But I hope everyone has a great day.